and welcome to The Courage to Be Seen, real conversations with leaders about personal branding and career growth. Today, I'm really excited. I'm joined by Jenny Moran. Jenny is Senior Internal Comms Manager at Wolt, and she's also the founder of Coco Moco. Hello! Welcome, Jenny. I'm so excited to have you on The Courage to Be Seen.
Thanks for having me. I cannot wait to get into this conversation with you.
Me too. So before we dive in, where are you joining us from?
So today I am at home here in Helsinki, Finland, but originally I'm from Vancouver, BC.
Yeah, fellow Canadian. It's amazing to have you here. And do you mind sharing what you're currently doing from a career work perspective?
Yeah, in my day job, I lead internal communications at a tech company here in Helsinki. And then in my side job, I actually started a company recently called Coco Moco, and we lead a community of communications professionals here in Helsinki, and we organize events and meetups and things like that. And I think, at the end of the day, everything I do, it's really anchored in helping leaders at all levels shine with purpose. So when you asked me to join for this, absolutely, yes, this is right up my alley.
I'd love to hear some of the ways that you think about amplifying your brand and showing up and being more visible outside of just social media.
Yeah, it's not everything. And I'm not a natural social media person, so it took me a long time to get there. And it's actually probably one of the last things I started to do to amplify my personal brand. I definitely started internal at the workplace.
And how did you do that? Do you mind sharing a little bit more about the internal?
Yeah, there was this moment, the saying, most of the conversations about you happen without you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I learned that lesson. I was really wanting a promotion, and the conversation that happened without me with very senior leaders ended up with me not getting the promotion. And I asked my manager at the time, what was the reason? And she said to me, the main reason was that when I brought you up, nobody really knew anything about me. They couldn't talk about my accomplishments. They could barely talk about what I did at the company. And I learned a lesson, that was a problem. I was being looked out for a promotion because I was not being seen. And so that was a wake-up call for me to start building my personal brand with more intention and create a little bit more visibility for me in the workplace.
Yeah, I love that. I actually remember getting asked when I was back in corporate, I got asked to actually help a leader build their internal brand because they were like neck and neck with someone for a promotion. They both had amazing sales quotas and all the good stuff. They were performing super well. But as you just said, actually nobody really knew them, and they didn't know them inside the company or outside. And so part of what we were doing was building their brand inside and outside. So I love that you shared that, because it's true. There's a really great opportunity for people to start internally as well. And then how did you kind of move into some of the really cool stuff you're doing with your community, with your industry associations? I mean, the last time I saw you was actually at the IABC conference in Vancouver.
Yeah, in Vancouver.
Yeah, so I feel like you're really good at leveraging your network and your associations.
I would say it was a very slow burn. So I started with the goal of getting promoted. That was my first personal branding or visibility goal that I had. And so I really focused internal first. I was looking at, how do I show up in the right meetings? How do I take on some additional responsibilities? Maybe I volunteer for things. And kind of slowly started doing that. And then one by one, I noticed, okay, now I'm being invited to this meeting because they really want my point of view. Or now I'm being asked to sit on this panel discussion because they really want to hear my point of view. So it didn't happen overnight. It took a lot of time, and it also took a lot of intention, because I started to think about, well, if most of the conversations about me are happening without me, what do I want those conversations to be? And I started thinking, well, what do I want people to say about me? I want them to think that I'm a reliable person, that I'm creative, that I'm trustworthy. So I started mapping those out. And then as I started to build that kind of internal presence, I started getting the promotions. I thought, interesting. Maybe there's more I can do externally. Like what could happen if I started being more intentional about this also externally? So I would say it wasn't all intentional, but it did start with those really specific intentional steps in the beginning about like what it is that I want to be known for, and just been working on that ever since and not wavered.
No, I love that. I do think it starts with clarity about what you want to be known for. If you could think of a time, like, you originally said you weren't that keen on social media and that was the last thing you did, which by the way surprises me because I've seen your social and I think it's awesome. But is there something that held you back? Was there a reason that you were a bit hesitant at first?
Yeah, I get really nervous. So even to this day, I get butterflies pretty bad sometimes, especially if I have to stand up on a stage or if anybody hands me a microphone. Like even now, after all these years of practice, I still get really nervous. So for me, that's been the main factor on why I have been hesitant to be more out there on social. I just have to keep trying. Like for me, it's just fight through the nerves. They're going to be there and just keep going, because the opportunities, like I mentioned earlier, like you never know what's going to hit your inbox.
Are there things that you do as you fight through the nerves? Are there things that you do, like from my perspective, I mean, I still get nervous too, right? I do a lot of speaking and obviously I post a bit and I even work with leaders, but when you do it yourself, it's slightly different. Is there something that, like I have little things that I do to make myself, feel a little bit more courageous and confident? Is there anything that you do?
Yeah, there is one thing that I do all the time as I walk. So I'm always walking alone, mostly without any headphones and practicing, especially if I have to do a speech or presentation. I use that time to practice. Got this really great tip a few years ago that has really stuck with me. And it was, if you do anything at all, remember the first sentence you're going to speak and the last sentence you're going to speak. Yeah. And then everything else in the middle will figure itself out. So
I love that. That's a really good tip. Yeah. Yeah. I'm a fellow walker, as you may or may not know. And so I do the exact same thing as you. And so I'm sure I look like I'm like losing it as I'm walking down the street and I'm actually like saying my speech or whatever it is. And I actually verbalize that. I mean, I'm not yelling, but I verbalize it. And I do find that it really, really helps.
I've started to also voice note my content. So my written content. So while I'm walking, I find if I have a good train of thought, then I might just grab my phone and speak to it. And then that creates the start of whatever post I might then think about posting to LinkedIn, for example. So
I remember you see, again, because you did a good post on that. I remember you posting about that. Yeah. And I think it's such a fantastic idea because you're probably like me, you go out for a walk. I usually stop at, get a coffee, Starbucks or something. And so sometimes I'll have a really good thought. And if I don't do what you just said, or if I don't, write it in my notes app or something, I forget by the time I get home. So it's so smart that you do that you actually capture it.
And the best posts, the ones that perform the best, are when it's the ones that I've spoken out. So there's no AI involved, there's no editing really, it's just my voice but in text form. That's how I speak.
Oh, that's really cool. That's nice that they do well. Have you had any unexpected kind of results or impact or opportunities come your way as you started to be more visible? Is there something that you think is pretty unique?
Well, maybe not unique, but the biggest ones have been job offers.
Oh.
So I think especially LinkedIn, it is so underutilized. Recruiters are all over LinkedIn and they're looking at your profiles and they're looking at your content and you don't know it. Like just because they're not engaging with you, it doesn't mean they're not looking. And so real offers have come through LinkedIn. And I think another really interesting learning is that, because I've been thinking about how have some of these opportunities come my way, most of them have not been through real, like tier one connections or like my closest connections, they've mostly been more sort of warmer connections. So people who I may know or have met in brief at some point have been the ones that have been showing up with these opportunities. So I find that really fascinating.
Yeah, that is. That's actually really amazing. You know, it's funny when you said about the recruitment thing. I often speak with some communications students and they're getting close to graduating. And, you know, I'd say about 50% of them don't have a profile on LinkedIn. And I speak to them about it and they said, well, I don't really have any experiences to share yet. And it's like, you've got tons of experience and you need to be on there because to your point, the recruiters are there and they're looking and they look you up. So I think that's a really good point that you called out. I also think there's a lot of people that look at our profiles that don't engage, but they see it. And I know sometimes you may get this experience, like I'll go to a dinner party or something, or I'll see someone and they'll say, oh, you're really busy, or I just saw your post on this. And they haven't engaged with it, but you can obviously see that they've been, you're getting seen, whether or not you know it. So I think that's a really good comment. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to also let that, the dopamine hit of the likes and the shares. Like, it's hard, but you gotta let it go.
Yeah. Again, maybe it's the same for you, but I have shared this before. Well, when I've done other conversations on this topic, but sometimes where the posts that I don't get the likes or as many as I would like and comments, the reality is it's actually the one that caused someone to DM me about a speaking op or, one time I got a new client and I thought, oh my gosh, this post, but it's interesting. So I think we have to it's very hard. It's hard not to watch and see what's happening as you post. Yeah. But that's another good reason not to take, that aspect of it to heart and to let that stop you because there's lots of good opportunities that come. Okay. I have one last question for you. Actually, it's a two-part. One, is there a mistake that you made early on that someone could learn from? And it could be tied to this or it could be different. Is there a piece of advice that you might give someone who's, a little hesitant to spend time and trying to be more visible?
Yeah. And this one sounds counterintuitive because we're talking about personal branding, but I think it's the mistake about making it about me. And when the opportunities started flowing faster was when I shifted away from me and shifted onto others. And so it's really the fruition of why I built this company, Coco Moco, because we're putting the spotlight on other communications professionals. It's not about me. We're building experiences where they can connect to each other to do things, to have experiences and accomplishments, and it's not about me, but I'm just creating this forum and this space and finding that in doing so, actually, the opportunities are coming faster. So that would be the one advice, is try to kind of take yourself out of the picture and see what you can do to help others succeed.
That's awesome. And listen, congratulations. Honestly, I've been watching all your posts. I think it's amazing.
Thank you.
If someone wants to learn more about Kokomo, where can they find you? Or just on LinkedIn, or do you have a website at this point? Or
we do, cocomoco.co website, and then you can find us on LinkedIn and on Instagram.
Fantastic. Well, thank you. It was so nice to catch up, and I appreciate all your insights.
Thanks for having me.